Allah Azza wa Jal, the Merciful, in this blessed month of Ramadan has given us the opportunity to change the way we look at the dunya, to change the way we see each other. And through the barakat of this blessed month of Ramadan, Ramadan gives us the opportunity to learn those sets of skills, those skills that will be required for us to live the rest of our year. Yani this month of Ramadan, it is the beginning of those classes, the beginning of those lessons that we will require and we will use to live out the remaining years of our lives that we have from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Yani the month of Ramadan gives us, the mu'mineen, the opportunity to learn and to renew those skills which we have either forgotten or due to forgetfulness we are not using them in our daily lives. Firstly, the lesson that we learn from the blessed month of Ramadan is how to self-discipline ourselves. Yani the month of Ramadan, it is that strict time from Allah Azza wa Jal, in which there are two times which we strictly follow. One is the time of Sahri and the second is the time of Iftari. Yani these are those two times that for the last years of our lives we will become very close to the meaning of time. Yani the older you get, the more you understand and the more you try to use the time which Allah Azza wa Jal has given you. Yani a person who is ill, he will have a more sense of time than a person who is not ill. A person who is suffering from such an illness that the doctors have given him a few years, a few months to live, he will have more sense of the meaning of time than a person who is not ill. In this blessed month of Ramadan, the first lesson that we learn is how to self-discipline ourselves. Yani we use the blessed month of Ramadan to exercise and to resist temptations and control our physical desires that we have. Yani in the state of fasting, even though our mind and our stomach is working against us, our mind is telling us to eat, our stomach is telling us to eat, but we are controlling these urges because we know that this blessed month of Ramadan, it is that time from Allah Azza wa Jal in which we are learning new lessons. So the first lesson that we learn in this blessed month of Ramadan is self-discipline. The second lesson that we learn in this blessed month of Ramadan is empathy. Empathy is to feel and to understand those people who are less fortunate than us. Yani, as I have been saying from the first of Ramadan, because sometimes we see blessings and ni'mat on a daily basis, we don't understand and we don't appreciate what bounties Allah Azza wa Jal has given us. And when these bounties are limited or they are taken away from us, that is when we understand what is the meaning of having ni'mat, yani bounties from Allah Azza wa Jal. So the second lesson that we learn is empathy. We feel the thirst what others feel. We feel a hunger what others feel. Yani when it comes to giving charity and we are told that we need to give one meal to someone, and when it comes to us having a full meal, we spend over £10 on one meal. But when someone says to us that we need to help someone else and feed someone else, We think by giving £5 for a full family, we are doing a big ihsan on Allah Azza wa Jal. Now first, if you give that £5 to someone else, try to live with that £5 for a week. If you are finding it difficult, then how do you expect someone else to live on the money that you are giving in the name of charity? Yani charity should be that is accepted by you firstly. If you can live off £5 for a month, then by all means you give £5. Then you are right in the sense that if you can live off it, then someone else can live off it. So the second lesson that we learn in this blessed month of Ramadan is empathy, feeling what others feel. And the third lesson that we learn in this blessed month of Ramadan is the ability to reflect on ourselves. Yani when we get up for Sahri, and from the moment that we start to fast, we realize that time then slows down even more. Normally, you wouldn't understand when the morning starts and the night starts. You don't feel when the day goes past. But when you are fasting, you feel like that the time slows down even more. And by time slowing down, it gives you the ability to reflect on the life that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you. It gives you the chance to understand the smallest bounties that Allah Azza wa Jalla has given you. Because you are not worried about the world in the blessed month of Ramadan. You are not worried about food and water. You are not worried about preparing food for yourself for lunch, for breakfast. So the extra time that you have from Allah Azza wa Jal in this blessed month of Ramadan, it is that time that you can use to reflect upon yourself. Sit and try to think that the decisions that you have made from the previous Ramadan up to this Ramadan, were the correct decisions? From the previous Ramadan up to this year's Ramadan, how many steps have you taken to get close to Allah Azza wa Jal? From the previous Ramadan up to this Ramadan, how many actions have you done that has moved you away from Allah Azza wa Jal? How many actions have you done to please the Imam of your time? How many actions that you have done to please those people around you? So the best time of reflection is the blessed month of Ramadan. And whilst we are learning many lessons in the blessed month of Ramadan, it also gives us the opportunity to understand what Deen Islam wants from us. Yani Ramadan is not only so that we change for 1 month, but Ramadan is the beginning, yani the first lesson in making sure that you are on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. Ramadan is that first step in trying to understand what Allah Azza wa Jal wants from you. Ramadan is that first step to understand why Allah sent His final messenger, why Allah sent Imams, why the Deen of Islam came for us. So, a few lessons that we learn and what Islam urges us to do in this blessed month of Ramadan. The first is to show kindness no matter what your faith. This is a thing that we are repeating over and over again this year, that Ramadan or charity is not only for the Muslims. As we mentioned yesterday, yani we should be caring for humanity. Our purpose when it comes to charity is obviously we help those that are mu'min, Muslims that are closer to home. But charity shouldn't stop, and you shouldn't make a boundary for charity saying that this is only for the Muslims. Yani Islam urges us to show kindness no matter what your faith is. Because probably by you showing kindness to someone might have the interest to understand what is Islam.